morning being here to welcome a batch of volunteers that came to Guyana, and I'll ask our country representative, Melanie McTurk, to do the welcome remarks. Thank you.
Good morning. On behalf of Cuso International Guyana, I would like to extend a very warm welcome this morning to Mr. Jolie, Councillor and Head of Development Cooperation with the High Commission, members of the press, representatives of our various partner organizations, Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, Women Across Differences, to name just a few. Volunteers, friends, thank you all for taking the time this morning to join us as we welcome our newest batch of volunteers to the Guyana program. Around the world, inequity and discrimination continue to exclude people, especially vulnerable groups such as women, children, youth, and people with disabilities, from accessing the resources, services, and opportunities they need in order to realize their own potential and meaningfully contribute to development and well-being of their communities. At Cuso International, we believe that overcoming poverty and inequity is a global responsibility in which all social forces, governments, multilateral agencies, the private sector, INGOs, civil society organizations, community groups, and individual citizens have a role to play and a contribution to make through initiative, collaboration, and partnership. We believe that poor and marginalized people, especially women and youth, need to be able to more effectively participate in and benefit from economic growth, generating better incomes and more reliable livelihoods for their families and communities, while civil society and government agencies, especially at the community and regional levels, need greater capacity to support and deliver effective, inclusive, and accountable services and development programs. In furtherance of these beliefs, since its founding in 1961, Cuso International Programming has attempted to harness the power for change engendered by direct people-to-people engagement, as expressed primarily through multiple types of volunteering and a commitment to building inclusive partnerships for development. Today, with the generous support for core funding provided by the Government of Canada, Cuso boasts programs in 35 countries worldwide, 36 if I'm not mistaken, with the addition of our newest program in Myanmar, which opened its doors just earlier this year. Through the skills, commitments of our volunteer professionals, and our inclusive approach to mobilizing effective partnerships, the alignments of our programs with national and global development priorities, and our commitment to learning, innovation, and delivering real and sustainable outcomes, Cuso International consistently works to promote equitable and sustainable economic growth, access to quality social services, and active citizenship around the world. In the Caribbean, and especially in Guyana, our history is a long one, with volunteer placements dating back to 1962, first through independent programs and later through collaboration with VSO. In Guyana in 2012, the Guyana program formally transitioned from VSO to Cuso International Guyana. At this time, we developed a new strategic plan which saw us focusing on youth and which later was expanded as the model for Cuso International's wider Caribbean regional program. This strategic plan, now referred to as the Caribbean Sea, that's SEEE, standing for Social and Economic Empowerment, currently has programs in Guyana, Jamaica, Dominica, Grenada, Belize, and St. Lucia, and will over the next 5 years, in collaboration with a range of local and regional partners, strive to improve youth's access to social justice and increase their access to economic opportunities through wealth creation. Through the Caribbean Sea program, we will aim to provide the enabling environment for employability, enterprise development, and entrepreneurship, with the ultimate goal of providing the region's youth with both the tools and skills to respond to the needs of the existing job market, as well as develop entrepreneurial businesses based on value chain approaches and a responsiveness to local and regional market demands. Through support for the development of mitigation, diversionary and support services, we hope to reduce the likelihood of youths being offenders or victims of violent crime. And through support for capacity building and institutional strengthening, we will hope to effect increased participation of youth in volunteerism and decisions that affect them at the community, national and regional levels. In Guyana, underlying everything that we do continues to be our commitment to our four cross-cutting themes. These ensure that our programs are gender responsive, meaning that we acknowledge the different needs of young men and young women and support the development of services that respond to these different needs while promoting gender equality and inclusion. Inclusion of people with disabilities is also core to our programming, acknowledging the needs of young persons with disabilities and is supporting the development of services which are relevant and inclusive to Guyana's PWD population. Engaging diaspora is also a component, acknowledging that the diaspora in Guyana are active stakeholders of national development and supporting the creation of opportunities for tapping into the vast array of resources and skills within the diaspora population, including the inclusion of them within our own recruitment programs. Sustainability is the last, ensuring that the interventions engaged in result in systemic and enduring change, and encouraging a new way of thinking for NGOs to include long-term income generation and fundraising activities to shift from NGO status to a social enterprise model of working. In Guyana, as in the case in all the countries in which we work, Cuso International believes that development outcomes are more likely to be brought about when led by democratic governments that listen to and work in partnership with civil society and the private sector, and is responsive to the priorities expressed by the poor and marginalized. For this reason, our partnerships in Guyana include government agencies, the private sector, and local and regional NGOs. And all our partnerships represent our commitment to the furtherance of locally evolved developmental priorities. The partners and 10 new volunteer professionals to whom you are about to be introduced represent this sectoral range and bring with them a wealth of technical and developmental expertise, ranging from expertise in the creative arts to monitoring and evaluation and natural resource management. Cuso is proud to contribute to the national paradigm in this space and hope that all of you here today will, along with the wider Guyanese society, join us in welcoming with enthusiasm and excitement these new additions to our potential for positive development growth in Guyana. Thank you very much.
So let me tell you a bit about the perspective from the High Commission on the work of Cuso in Guyana. The role of my team at the High Commission is to help deliver on the commitment of Prime Minister Harper providing $600 million in development assistance to the Caribbean region. This commitment supports the development priorities that the region places on sustainable economic growth and security. It supports the building of robust economies that generate employment, meaningful employment and opportunity, and of societies that provide strong institutions and safe communities. This commitment in the Caribbean is part of a larger foreign policy priority for the Americas that focuses on a more prosperous, secure, and democratic hemisphere. The assistance that we're providing is already delivering results at both the local, national, and regional level. Let me just give you a few examples. The implementation of value-added tax systems in other countries. No one likes to pay taxes, but effective tax systems are not in place. Governments cannot operate and cannot provide services to citizens. The modernization of customs systems and procedures using risk management techniques in 6 countries. Again, customs and more effective customs are crucially important for the sustainable development of all the countries of the Caribbean and for intra-Caribbean exchange. Third, the implementation of leadership training for the top echelons of governments to ensure that countries of the region are properly supported by a cadre of able senior civil servants to implement reform programs that the elected official will decide. And lastly, the development of 16 market-driven technical and vocational education programs in 12 countries to train in the Caribbean the skilled labor force required for modern economies, and to train this labor force to Caribbean and to international standards. But as important as we think these results are, they are often not as immediately visible to the people in the Caribbean and to the average Guyanese citizen. This is why your work as a volunteer is so significant. Beyond the transformational power of your individual action, you bring a human face to our presence and to Canada's cooperation. This is why Cuso's legacy in Guyana is so valuable and why, again, it's important to us. Worldwide, organizations like Cuso play an important role in the delivery of Canada's development assistance and the achievements of its results. In fact, the Government of Canada started providing support for Cuso in 1965 and continues to do so today. With a contribution of 65 million Canadian dollars, my department, Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development, supports the 2009-15 Cuso Volunteer Cooperation Program. It aims to improve the economic and social well-being of poor and marginalized communities, as Melanie explained, by increasing the capacity of country partners to deliver sustainable development results in response to local needs. As many of you know, Cuso works by placing volunteers with local partners to share expertise, skills, experience, and perspective towards unlocking organizational potential and advancing the development agenda. Cuso uses multiple types of volunteering, and again, Melanie mentioned North-South, South-South, and diaspora volunteers. This whole idea of Cuso helping Guyanese in particular, it's true for the Caribbean, but it's particularly true for here in Guyana. Guyanese have established have Canadian citizenship. Very often have established a base in Canada that know Canadian institutions and share their values, and now want to contribute to Guyana's development. I think it's something that's very worthy of support. Here in Guyana, Cuso works with partners including civil society, community-based organizations, the government of Guyana, the CARICOM Secretariat, and non-governmental organizations. Melanie mentioned that Cuso has been placing volunteers in Guyana for 52 years. This makes Cuso a real part of Guyana's history. It holds a central place in the history of relations between our two countries. Over the years, Cuso has programs in education, health, agriculture, disability, gender, natural resource management, organizational development, and sustainable livelihood. Cuso's current strategy in Guyana and the Caribbean more generally focuses on improving the enabling environment for employment, enterprise development, and entrepreneurship. In all, the Cuso strategy aligns very well with the Government of Canada's strategy for the Caribbean. We are thus excited about this new cadre of volunteer placements. We know that the volunteers' experience and professional backgrounds in youth development, gender, business management, fundraising, change and project management, and natural resource management will be well utilized as they seek to develop and implement new processes, approaches, services, and technologies with their partners and agencies. Again, I'm pleased to be here with you today, and I wish you all the best, and I would love to meet you.
Women Across Differences One, the organization I represent,
is a non-governmental organization working in Guyana to empower women and youths through access to social and economic resources. Over the past 15 years, WAD has been collaborating with several international organizations, including Oxfam, CEDAW, UNDP, UNFPA, among others. WAD is very grateful for the relationship that has been established with Cuso International Guyana, as together we strive to make a difference in the lives of our people. Women Across Differences is cognizant of its role in the social and economic development of women and youths, more so in our communities and the country at large. For the past year, the organization was privileged to benefit from the placement of 2 volunteers attached to our office location. Ms. Devon Pival, who worked with us in the area of justice for our young women and our teenage mothers. Devon spent 3 months with the organization. Ms. Sylvie Lamont was our resource mobilizer fundraiser, and Sylvie spent 6 months with Women Across Differences. In addition, WAD was fortunate also to have the assistance of other volunteers with a special expertise in the area of finance, Ms. Cassie Blake, and the organization assessment and strategic planner, Ms. Janice Lake, who also came on board to really assist WAD in the development of their systems. Our new volunteers, Ron, Chung, Monitor and Evaluation Specialist, who we are sharing with the Challenge Guyana organization, and Thea Belmar Mugrift, Development Researcher. I especially welcome you to WAD, and we are grateful to having you working with us. The work that will be executed by these 2 new volunteers would build on the achievements of the previous volunteers who worked with Women Across Differences. As such, the partnership between Cuso and Women Across Differences is pivotal to the organization developmental process, allowing WAD to achieve its goals and objectives as we join forces to reduce inequality and poverty in Guyana. On behalf of Women Across Differences, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude for this relationship with Cuso. The technical services of the volunteers have surely enhanced the effective and efficient functioning of the organization's operation and service delivery. WAD look forward for a continuous collaboration. Thank you so much. Peace.
The Guyana National Youth Council launched on September 30th, 2014, under the motto, Change Begins with You. After just over a year of working tirelessly and strategically to develop and approach the establishment of a sustainable council for Guyana. Though during that time we were able to host 2 consultations, outreach and training events with young Guyanese, our launch on Caribbean Youth Day 2014 would not have been possible were it not for the push and funds provided to Cuso. Recognizing that the GNYC endeavors to be, in a nutshell, the collective voice for all young people and to advocate for youth rights at all levels, we assume that Cuso has seen a common goal as it relates to youth development for Guyana. NYCs, for those of you who are not familiar with the concept, are official networks of all young people and youth bodies within the country. Bodies such as these are necessary for there to be concerted and coordinated efforts towards youth development through a process that is youth-led. Many times we all do youth work at different levels and advocate for the same issues. A National Youth Council brings all these groups together and implements strategies for coordinated efforts and speaks on behalf of a collective. It is a network created by youth for all youth. As you can tell, this is an extremely large but possible task. And now that we have launched, the work is only now begun.
and us benefiting from a Cuso volunteer will provide that push for our establishment. Reaching out to youth groups, both formal and informal, across the country is paramount on our agenda, and we have commenced the official registration process of these organizations. Since our launch, several NGOs have already expressed their interest of joining the network and have already returned membership forms to us. Thank you again for providing us with that push. In addition to reaching out to organizations, the GNYC is also focused on recruiting new individual members for our task forces, which work in the areas of mass media, fundraising, documentation, and outreach. An example of the amazing work of one of these task forces, the mass media team, and one of our members is actually in the room here, Ms. Camera Woman, is our first project, which we launched last week, simultaneously with the GNYC's launch in collaboration with Youth Media Guyana. It is called the My Voice Matters initiative. The campaign aims at reaching out to young Guyanese from all walks of life, using technology to capture opinions on various issues. The inaugural video captured reasons why persons believe that their voice as youth matters. Thus far, the team has hit the busy streets of the city, bus parks, university campus and call centers, and the responses that they have gathered from the field have been amazing, extremely inspirational. Our hope is that this project models how effectively social and mass media can be used towards empowerment, while also inspiring young people who may feel their voice. The follow-up video output of the My Voice Matters initiative will capture youth opinion on various topics and highlight the work of young people. This is why us having a volunteer is necessary. In addition to this work that we've been doing, the GNYC has been executing monthly capacity building sessions for youth NGOs within our network. We have had 2 of these thus far in the areas of advocacy and engagement. Our upcoming sessions between now and the end of the year will be focused on opportunities for youth involvement in local decision-making, fundraising, and grant seeking for NGOs, as well as integrating aspects of the national youth policy into the work that we all do at the community level. On the horizon, and of utmost priority for the remainder of 2014, will be the defining of the growing priorities of the GNYC. This stage is critical, but cannot be decided upon by a small group of persons, which is in another way that Cuso and our partnership with them will be pushing the establishment of the GNYC. It is hoped that this is done through a youth summit for youth leaders and NGOs before the year is through. This event is hoped to bring together youth leaders and activists from across the country for us to decide on the current priority areas for youth, so that the GNYC can document these and craft a program of activities for the coming year. Much work will be put into preparing for this summit. Desk research on the state of youth must be completed, and efforts to reach out to youths across the country must be used. In this area as well, Cuso will be contributing. So much of this work could not and cannot be done without the generous support of committed and established partners. We are proud to say that amongst these, Cuso has stood up. The gift of a volunteer and the GNYC's strategic relationship with Cuso is a welcome one that we hope lasts beyond our firm establishment. The funding, expertise, and advice provided has been irreplaceable and attests to the fact that great things can arise through commitment and partnership. The common commitment shared by Cuso and the GNYC has led to strategic partnership, which will certainly trickle and spread into the tapestry of youth development nationally. Specifically, as it relates to the support garnered from our first volunteer attached to the GNYC, Mr. Ricky Alexander, we were able to achieve much mileage that we would not have been able to secure were it not for his full-time efforts. Of all the things that youth work demands, time is a critical resource, and networking is a necessary skill. Ricky has been able to commit his time and networking ability to support us in reaching out to youth organizations towards compiling comprehensive databases and building a strong network. He has also provided us with insightful options for our consideration as it relates to steps that we can take as a national youth advocacy body to secure relevance and visibility. Coming from the National Youth Council of St. Lucia, which is noted as one of the strongest youth councils in the region, he has much for us to tap into. This is only the beginning. The work starts next week. I'd like to encourage all you volunteers to reach out to us if there are opportunities for you to be included in the programs that you are currently attached to. Further, as I also wear the hat of Vice Chair of the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, and as Mr. Jolie would have said, there has been input in youth development region-wide. I can proudly say that the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, who has also benefited from the work of a driven and committed regional volunteer, has contributed significantly to coordinating the efforts of national youth councils within the region. As Cuso commits to the GNYC commits to striving to ensure that the sustainability and longevity of your investment is felt by the countries, and that we as a body continue to strive towards securing visibility and youth partnerships. A great big warm thank you to Cuso International and the Cuso team here in Guyana on behalf of both the GNYC and the Caribbean Regional Youth Council for showing what a true example of commitment to investing in youth development is. I would like to encourage all new volunteers to multiply the power of your service and encourage those with whom you work with to commit to the development of Guyana, as you, as non-Guyanans, are doing. Welcome and thank you.
Hello, my name is Roshan David, from Toronto, Canada as well, and I'll be working with Biology Info, that's BYC, and it's a pleasure being again. I'm in school right now, and hope to make a difference with you.
Hi, I'm Jillian Hess. I am originally from Saskatchewan, Canada, but reside in Washington, D.C. in the United States, and I am here attached to Cuso International, the Guyana office, and I'm the gender specialist going to be working on gender mainstreaming, reducing gender-based violence, and so on with all the partner organizations, doing training sessions and all that. So I look forward to meeting all of you very soon.
And I will be working with Black women across the region as a program development manager. I'm happy to be in Guyana and excited to meet everyone that can assist with the development and progression of Black.
I'm attached to my great host WAD and Guyana Youth Challenge, and I'm here to help to develop and implement monitoring and evaluation systems, and I'm pretty happy to be here in Guyana to try and make a contribution.
I will be working with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport in the area of arts and curriculum development. I'm the Creative Arts Curriculum Development Advisor with the Ministry, and I'm very excited to start work on Monday and to be here.
I'm originally from Calgary, Canada, but I've been living in Vancouver for the last few years. And I'll be working with the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports and with the Career Training Center looking at youth unemployment, and I'll be doing some strategic planning around reducing youth.
Hello, very pleased to meet you.